Hello, nerds! Thank you once again for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your Week in Nerdom TV edition for the week of December 18th. This week, we're talking about Titans TV show. Are they casting for Batman and Robin? We've got some Witcher updates from Netflix, Lord of the Rings updates from Netflix, all of these things and all kinds of other stuff we're going to talk about. But first, let's play some music.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
TV news. So that hashtag show has uncovered a casting call for Titans. I don't remember the names that they're using, but they're obvious placeholders because the description of the characters that they're trying to cast for very much sound like Batman and young Robin. So he's going to be Robin in the series proper, but in flashback episodes is what it sounds like. And we're going to get multiple flashbacks because it's listed as a recurring role. Multiple flashbacks of what appears to be Batman and Robin. This has me super excited. We talked about it last week. We're talking about it again. I'm all over this. Walking Dead. All right, so revelations from last week's Walking Dead. I covered a little bit in the supplement, but it seems to have larger repercussions. Carl's dead. Carl we'll see him in the mid-season return that we're going to get in February, but he's only going to be alive for one more episode, and it seems like there's a possibility that in season 9 we'll get a little bit of flashback action, but no actual Carl. Chandler Riggs is the actor that plays him. Has moved on. He did a movie. He's going to college. All kinds of stuff is happening with his career these days. He's cut his hair off. So he also has, before the episode aired, he's posted on Reddit in a subreddit about spoiling the dead. So it's a subreddit about where they try and find out early information before the episodes air. And he posted there and said, once you find out what happens in this episode, please don't leak it. I don't want to spoil it for the hardcore fans who really love the show, because it's going to be epic, and lo and behold, it really was. But also in that post, he said, I don't want to, something along the lines of, I don't want to spoil the final few seasons of The Walking Dead. Now, he is just an actor in the show. He is not the showrunner. He's not a producer on the show. But that's not to say he's not privy to some sort of information that we don't have as viewers. And Andrew Lincoln has been talking about the potential of Rick not being on the show anymore. Though, just a few weeks ago, maybe it was a couple months ago at this point, we got one of the executive producers talking about how effectively this show could go on forever as far as he's concerned. So, little bit of conflicting news there. What do you guys think? Is The Walking Dead dying? I know the ratings have been down. People are jumping ship left and right because we have more new cast members than original cast members. But it's a freaking zombie apocalypse. Not everybody's going to live. Matter of fact, most people are going to not live. So it makes sense that we're kind of making these transitions as we make them. This still, in my heart and in the hearts of many others, I'm not alone in this, Walking Dead is the best show on television. Why? I don't understand it. So what do you guys think? And then on the other side of that, there is a petition on petition.org to not only save Chandler Riggs' character of Carl Grimes, but fire the showrunner for killing him. They're at 35,000 of 50,000 as of doing my research for it this morning. I think that's a little insane. Yes, Carl is still alive in the comics. They have said though that the story elements that they borrow from for the show that involve Carl in the comics are just going to be played out by other characters in the show. It makes sense to me. This increases the stakes. We've talked about this with X-Men, the Dark Phoenix movie that's coming out. One of the main characters is going to die. This is the same effect in this show. This gives it stakes, because for a long time, at the very least, Rick and Carl were not going to die. That was just a given. We are not going to lose those two characters. And then we did. So I feel like that ups the ante. It makes it more worth watching. It makes it that much of a better show. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comments. Lord of the Rings. We've talked about this before as well. Lord of the Rings is coming to Netflix. It is going to be a prequel. I feel like last time we left this, it was still a little bit up in the air. Where is it going to fall? Is it going to happen after the trilogy? Is it going to happen before the trilogy? Is it going to happen before The Hobbit? It seems it's going to happen in that middle area right there between The Hobbit and the trilogy. That's where it's going to live. Ian McKellen, the beautiful man who played Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the Brown, is trying to come back as Gandalf. There has been no announcement of the content specifically for the show. They are going to be using some things from the Silmarillion and other Middle-earth writings that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, but there's no definite announcement of any of the characters or anything that they're going to focus on. So there's no guarantee that there's going to be a new Gandalf. Ian McKellen could make guest appearances occasionally, because Gandalf's older than dirt, and he is in the movie that happens before this trilogy, and he's also in the movies that happen after this. So it makes sense that if he wants to do it, that they would give it to him, though nobody's asked him to do it. He hasn't really approached them to do it. He just mentioned in an interview, yeah, I'd do it. It makes sense, right? So what do you guys think? Should Ian McKellen come back as Gandalf, or should they recast that role to somebody who potentially could be alive longer if the series becomes successful? Not that Ian McKellen's in bad health or anything. He's just a little old. Moving along. We are talking Shira. Yes, the sister to He-Man. Netflix is bringing Shira back. They have teamed up with DreamWorks Animation Studios to reboot the series. They've brought on Noelle Stevenson as the showrunner. Noelle also created Nemoa, which is a webcomic, and Lumberjanes, which is a webcomic as well. No official release date yet, but it is set to come out sometime in 2018. Interesting. A lot of my childhood is coming back, like the Magic School Bus. I've worked my way through most of those episodes, and I must admit, this is kind of an update for that. I'm super excited with what they did with Magic School Bus, because it's not, at least the bits that I've seen, there's not a whole lot of political slant one way or the other. They only represent the hard and fast science that both sides of policy can agree on. So very well played, Netflix. I'm super excited to see what happens with Shira. And then are we going to get a proper Masters of the Universe animated series? We know we're getting the movie, but are we going to get another cartoon? Maybe if Shira does well, we'll get that. And then our final bit of information for this week's TV news update. It has to do with another video game property that's getting transported somewhere else. Or is it? The Witcher is not a secret. Everybody knows it's being made into a series. They are, at least it got greenlit. Everybody knows it got greenlit. It's officially getting made into a series now. They hired Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, writer she was a writer on Defenders and on Daredevil. She's being brought on as the showrunner, and the series will be based on the books, not on the video games. The books originally by Andrzej Sapkowski, who wrote the books, he's also going to be brought on as a creative consultant for the series. So super excited about that. Those Witcher games are freaking awesome. If you haven't played them, go out and play them. If you haven't read the books, I haven't read the books either, so I'm going to put that on my reading list, and we will talk about that and the eventuality that the books section makes a return. That being said, we have reached the end of the TV video. First day of the new lips, I'm sorry. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it so much, you don't even know. If you are new to this channel, please check out that subscribe button. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you've never been, check out generallynerdy.net. I'm working right now on a piece for the blog about Christmas music and its appropriateness in other times of the year, and so on and so forth, and bits for people who don't like traditional Christmas music but still celebrate the holiday. There is music out there that you can get into. I promise you, and it'll all be in the blog. So definitely check that out. Patreon.com/generallynerdy is where you can go support these videos, help me keep creating this content. You can get on for just $1 a month, and that helps me out so much. You don't even know. I'm trying to be creative as my sole source of income. So this YouTube channel and then my photography as well is all I do to make money. So if without patrons, I don't make money on YouTube. So please check out the patreon.com/generallynerdy. And thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of this. I do have to remind you, though, and you know it's coming, because we always have to remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.